I have to tell Hector something.
What would you like to tell your son?
I'm not his mother.
What? Are you serious? You're not his mother? What do you mean?
He's my cousin's son. She died at childbirth.
I feel confused. I don't know who I am. I don't know my heritage. I don't know what I'm completely mixed with. I don't know where I came from. I don't know nothing.
You came from me.
Yeah, I knew you're half of the family, but that's only half
Nobody
the story.
else matters.
You raised me?
Oh, I raised you.
No, you didn't.
I raised you.
You weren't
Monica,
even there. So
stop it.
anyway,
Why?
I didn't want to be around her. I
You
didn't want to be
didn't get
under her.
along to this degree even when you were 15 years
Worse
old?
than this. It's even worse than this.
In this episode of Paternity Court, events take an unexpected turn. The defendant, Morris, admits to cheating on her boyfriend, Byom, yet insists he is the father of her 1-month-old son, Jackson. Not only did Morris cheat on Byom, but she was also quite careless, allowing Byom to discover the truth quickly. Now, how did Byom uncover the infidelity?
Me and the dude she cheated on me with were hanging out the night before because we're really close friends. We stayed up all night, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I wake up probably 7 o'clock. He's already gone. She fought with me the night before so she can leave and stay at her grandma's house. I went over to her grandma's to, 'cause she was over there with the kids. I seen him on the couch.
That must have been extremely painful to see, especially since it was the second time he caught her being unfaithful. You'd expect that, at the very least, Morris might have something positive to say in her defense. Not that there's any justification for cheating, but still. When questioned about how she ended up cheating with Byom's friend, this is what she had to say.
We were having trouble way before I even slept with his friend. I was always constantly getting accused. He's always constantly telling me I'm cheating. It's been happening for 4 years now.
And so what I'm trying to
And
understand is he keeps accusing you, so you just go ahead and validate the accusation?
Well, we technically we split up for a month. Technically, we split up for a month.
Oh, come on, is that an excuse? Wait until you hear the most shocking part, guys. It turns out Morris had sexual relations with both men just 2 days apart. I swear I'm not making this up. She admitted it herself.
When did you sleep with Mr. Byom? You say you are certain he's the father of Jackson. When did you sleep with him?
September 27th.
September 27th.
She could have slept with him the same day.
I slept with him on September 25th. That's why we're here today for the results.
Oh, so you slept with the other guy September 25th?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Morris says one thing, but Byom says another, claiming her relationship with the other possibility lasted for months. This has led him to believe that this man might be Jackson's father instead of him. To make matters worse, Morris sent pictures of baby Jackson to the other man's mother, angering Byom even more.
She's still talking to his mom about it.
No.
Sending his mom pictures of the baby. She's trying to tell me that it's my kid.
His mother, the other guy's mother, said if it does turn out to be her son's, that she wanted to be in his life. So when the baby was first born, I sent her pictures of the baby because she was asking me
You just did it last week.
about how much he was. No, I did not.
Can you believe it? The other man isn't even around to fight for his child, let alone fulfill his responsibilities as Jackson's father. I truly feel for the baby, being born into such chaos. This whole situation is a disaster, and I'm sure you'll agree once you watch the following clip.
I do
Yes,
a little bit.
Yes, he does. He shows my other two way more attention than he shows him.
Do you blame me?
So you do admit you're having a hard time bonding with
Yes.
Jackson because you don't know?
I still buy him clothes and toys and do whatever for him, but I keep my distance from him because I don't know if he's my son.
Preach, Judge Lauren. I don't understand how insensitive some people can be. All Morris does is complain about Byom's changing behavior towards Jackson. However, she has never acknowledged how hard this must be for Byom. It's so unfair, especially since he stood by her through her pregnancy, even after she cheated, not the man she claims was complimenting her.
You were?
I was there for everything, every step of her pregnancy, helping her out, doing everything for her, the whole time.
So, all right, so you helped her out the entire time? You came when the baby was born?
I was there.
I
held the baby first.
Did you sign the birth certificate?
No, I did not.
You did not?
No.
It's natural for her to return since the other men only offer a sexual relationship. Byom loves her and would do anything for the kids. So Morris is understandably sad and scared about what the paternity results will mean for them.
Morris, it seems like this truly is affecting you. I can see behind your eyes a lot of sadness.
Yes, Your Honor.
You know you've made a mistake.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you regret the mistake you made?
I regret cheating, but I don't regret my son.
That's unfortunate. The DNA results should be revealed for everyone's sake, especially Jason, so both parties know the next steps. Let's discover what the test shows, shall we?
Mr. Byom, you are the father.
Yes. Yes. I'm happy about that. That just,
Congratulations.
Thank you. That really helped me out a lot.
How does it feel now?
Feels great. Almost want to cry that he's mine.
This family has lived happily for many years. One misstep from the parents brought everything they had built to a halt. Razor and Hunt overheard an argument between their parents, and it was mistakenly revealed that the man they had known to be their father all this while may not be. What exactly happened the day Razor and Hunt overheard this argument?
I started to hear a lot of noise in my mom's bedroom. He coming out the room, going to the kitchen saying, well, those ain't my kids anyway, so I was doing you a favor, and left out the door. Yes, really? Yes, really.
Your mother made a comment that really didn't sit too well with me, and it hurt me. You guys didn't hear the whole comment.
You know I was just mad. You know I was mad.
They say people talk about how they feel when they're angry, so could it be that Ms. Hammonds was telling the truth when she made that statement? I don't know yet, but we'll find out, that's for sure. Meanwhile, the kids have much to say about this situation, so let's hear from them.
I was in shock. I was just like, how you just gonna, despite the argument, how you just gonna leave without saying bye, hug? They argued, that's cool. But when you got your children and you arguing with your spouse, that don't got nothing to do with us. You understand what I'm saying?
I do understand what you're saying.
I'm trying to figure out the whole comment, because the statement, "they not my children anyway," isn't something anyone can just say randomly. But okay, let's assume there was a full version of what Jacob said. What exactly did Hammond say that warranted such a statement from Jacobs? Razor is curious about this too, so she asks her mom the same question.
All right, Mom,
because
so
they didn't hear
for
the
him
whole
to make
comment?
that statement, why did you make that statement? Why did you say what you said for him to say what he said?
Because maybe he's not your father, Precious.
What
Maybe
you-
he's
what
not.
you mean?
Maybe he's not. I don't know. Maybe he's not.
So what you was doing, Ma?
Miss Hammond,
May I just say
Excuse
something, please,
me,
Your Honor?
your
Excuse
daughter
me,
is asking for
maybe.
clarification. Is
I'm
it
26 years old, okay?
Unbelievable. This is the stage Hammonds needs to be honest with her kids, or else the situation might turn into something else. Razor pointed out the difference in all four of their surnames and demanded an explanation from her mom. However, Hammonds had nothing to say while Hunt raged on.
You say his name came from grandma. He been there for everything. Everything. I'm getting married in January. He's supposed to walk me down this aisle. And you gotta tell me the truth. What is wrong? Tell me.
Because I don't know, Precious. I just don't know.
That man Tommy that grandma said that might be my father that I look like, that you denied so many times.
Man, this is a lot of pain. Now, the court reached out to the man Razor said neighbors claim she resembles. He agreed to do a paternity test and joined the ongoing court session via video conference call. The judge is about to hear from him, so let's see how that goes.
we're here with Ms. Razor, and you agreed to take a DNA test.
Yes, I was at that cookout
You
too.
said that this was your friend.
And
Just
then
one
it was-
second, Miss
You
Razor.
didn't say you was
I'm sorry, Mr. Farmer. Did you have a relationship with Ms. Hammonds?
You called this your brother.
Yes, we had a physical relationship. It wasn't a relationship.
You called that your brother.
That must have been too much for Razor to take in. Razor and her brother have known Tommy Farmer as their mother's brother all her life. Now, it appears that it has all been a lie. The judge asked Jerome to check on Razor while the session continued. In the courtroom, another thing was unraveled.
You do admit that you had a sexual relationship with Mr. Farmer some 26 years ago,
Yes,
around the time Precious was conceived.
Yes.
You're admitting that here today.
Yes, ma'am.
But you were not having a sexual relationship with him during the time Hector.
No, ma'am.
Right, a play brother. This mother has deceived her children for years and thought she would get away with it. But alas, the truth will always come out no matter what. As Farmer countered that he was not Hammond's brother, Jacobs noted that he had never met Farmer.
You wasn't
You
supposed
never
to know I
knew he
existed.
existed?
No, you right, right. I shouldn't have known you existed.
You never knew he existed?
No, you're right. You're right. I shouldn't have known you existed. Look what you're doing to my family.
I didn't do
You know what?
anything to your family.
Say this to you,
It
Mr.
was,
Obama.
it was already done.
When we leave this courtroom today, my son and daughter is going to be leaving with me, regardless to what that paper say.
Oh, Judge Lauren, I do agree with you. The whole situation is a complete mess. With everyone claiming one thing or the other, it just seemed like the case wasn't going anywhere. At this point, the judge had to address the parties.
Miss Hammonds, you do understand how your daughter feels at this point. She was introduced to this man as this is a family friend. She thought it was a brother-in-law. You called him Uncle Tommy. She had no idea that somewhere around the time she was conceived, you were in a sexual relationship with him. You do understand that,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Poor girl. Her mother's betrayal shatters her. One the former doesn't even seem apologetic about. Racer couldn't hold back from expressing the hurt she felt. Yet, all she wants to know is who her biological father is.
I didn't know that it was gonna be this big. I just wanna know who is my father for real. But he's still gonna walk me down this aisle in January. But I haven't opened up to my fiance the way I should, because I don't know who I am inside no more. I'm so angry, I can't even talk to him.
Finally, the moment of truth is here. Who is Racer's biological father, Jacobs or Farmer? Let's find out.
Mr. Farmer,
Yes.
you are not
Yes!
her
Oh my God! Oh! Oh my God! Oh! Oh!
Thank you.
Oh!
Thank you.
Oh! Oh my God.
Wow, that was entirely unexpected because everyone had thought that one of the men would be Razor's father. There's something Hammonds isn't saying, and despite her daughter's plead for her to be honest about it all, she claims she is unsure.
Please, I'm begging you. Just talk to me.
I'm not sure, Precious. I'm not sure.
Just talk to me.
I'm not sure.
You don't recall. When you say you're not sure, ma'am, could you possibly be able to identify maybe one or two other possibilities, or is it that you truly don't even remember a name?
While Racer's biological father remains unknown, the judge has the results of Hunt's DNA test and is ready to reveal it. I warn you not to get your hopes too high as you await the reveal.
Mr. Jacobs, you are not Hector's father.
Oh, you is scandalous.
But you don't know. You don't know. It's other
Jerome, could you go please see if you could help Mr.
Scandalous.
Oh, so now Hammonds is ready to talk. Well, let me break it to you. If you think you have seen it all, you are mistaken. This case was going completely wrong, so the judge had to take a recess. She called the parties into her chambers, and what was revealed there was nothing you would expect.
things. I have to tell Hector something.
What would you like to tell your son?
I'm not his mother.
What? Are you serious? You're not his mother.
What do you mean?
He's my cousin's son. She died at childbirth.
So his mother was your cousin, you're saying? And while having him, she passed away. So when you had us test...
Despite spending 5 years in prison for not paying child support, Bill Manser insists that Dylan is not his son. He and the defendant, Sehr, are in court to resolve this. Manser begins by explaining the circumstances of his imprisonment.
For Your Honor, I'm here to explain that 12 hours of my life cost me 5 years in the Department of Corrections. She was a friend of my aunt. She was best friends with my aunt. We all lived in the same little community. She lived across the street. I knew of her. I knew her. I've spoken to her. But as far as intimacy, we was together one time.
Thank goodness for paternity court. After prison, Manser started paying child support, but still doubted Dylan was his. He asked his public defender for paternity proof, which turned out to be a DNA report from Sehr.
He said that they obtained my DNA through a sample that was already on file. That's what she's claimed this whole time.
For a daughter you didn't raise too.
So, that's right. I'm not here to win any Father of the Year awards, believe me.
You wouldn't get it.
But I'm here to say that, you know, in today's society, I think it's cruel and unusual punishment to be sentenced to 5 years in prison.
I understand why Manser is upset, but he missed a court date, which was his mistake. Meanwhile, Sehr is in court, asserting that Manser, with whom she has another son, Chris, is Dylan's father. What proof does she have? Let's find out.
Because I have had a DNA test done and I have the results right here. Would you like a copy of it?
Well, she's worked for lab pretty much for the last 20 years. I'd question the validity of the results. I mean, she could get those anyway.
Hold on 1 second. Jerome, please hand me Miss Sear's evidence.
And it also shows the lab that the seal was not tampered with, therefore I could not have tampered with the sample.
I never submitted a test.
Now this is getting serious. Sehr had a DNA test showing Dylan was Manser's son, but Manser claims she could have manipulated the results due to her 20 years of lab experience. You would not believe it when I say that the judge couldn't find evidence of Manser's sample being collected in the DNA report provided by Sehr.
What I do believe that's missing in all of this evidence is I don't see any information relating to the collection of the sample from Mr. Manser.
Right.
Nothing. Now, this court has administered new testing, and both of you submitted to the test.
Both parties were actively involved in providing DNA samples this time, and Manser seems pleased with this development. Sehr, however, had a sudden outburst claiming Manser was never a good father, but their son, Chris, disagrees. See what he had to say.
You are Mr. Manser's son.
Yes.
Please tell us, has he been a father to you, and if so, has he been a good one?
Absolutely. Been a great father to me. We've had our ups and downs as a father-son relationship should be, but
we're best friends.
We really are.
We're best friends.
And Chris, you've met Dylan, Miss Sear's son.
In court, Dylan shares that he barely knows Manser and has no connection with him, although he is close to Chris. While his relationship with Manser isn't important to him, he wants Manser to be involved in the life of his soon-to-be born daughter.
I haven't seen either one of them in over a year now.
Daughter on the way.
I have a daughter due in November. You're the grandpa. I'd like for you to be part of her life, too.
I've advised you to get proof.
I've advised him to raise his child from day one.
Well, once you get proof, you will.
Ms. Sehr, you are very emotional right now.
Agreed, it's better to avoid more accusations and hurtful statements. With a new DNA test in play, everyone needs to know the truth about Dylan's paternity, specifically whether Seir's results are genuine or fake. Let's see how this unfolds.
Mr. Manser, you are not
Oh, God.
his father.
Oh, man. 5 years in prison. Dylan, I'm sorry, bro. This is why. This is why.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Despite Seir's claims, the DNA report was indeed fabricated. And if you expect Sehr to show remorse, think again because she didn't. Instead, she did this.
I did what I did.
But this is nothing I made up. The lab did it.
You made it all up.
No, I did not.
Well, those results apparently
I don't know
are made
any
up.
of those people on that form.
Oh, my God.
This is clearly the most shocking news we've ever gotten in this courtroom.
Oh, my God.
Myers has never known who her biological father is for over 20 years. When she felt like she didn't want to keep being in the dark, she asked her mother, Miss Madrigal, who gave her a shocking response about who her father was. You wouldn't believe it when I say that Madrigal gave her daughter a list of 13 possible men. The judge asked Myers about the circumstances that warranted her biological father's search. Here's what she had to say.
When I was 13 years old, I had a father figure in my life, and he died at that age. And you know, when he died, I needed closure. I needed somebody to be there.
And so at 13 years old, how did you find out that there were potentially 13 different men that could be your father?
That's wild. 13 men, and Madrigal couldn't manage to narrow it down to a lesser figure. Even Judge Lake had to ask Madrigal the same question, which is truly baffling.
Madrigal, as you're giving your daughter this list, and I do not mean this in a joking way,
right?
You couldn't narrow it down from 13?
You know, the 13 that she's named is like 13 ghosts. Fabricated.
What about Pick Any Man in Seattle?
You made
so
that
where
joke.
does this Pick Any Man in
Hold
Seattle?
Hold on, because any friend that she met of mine.
Poor Jerome even got dragged into this mother and daughter mess. According to the judge, Myers claimed that her life without a father figure has been tough. So the judge asked her to explain what she meant by that statement. Here's what she said.
I feel lost. You know, I feel confused. I don't know who I am. I don't know my heritage. I don't know what I'm completely mixed with. I don't know where I came from. I don't know nothing.
You came from me.
Yeah, I knew you're half of the family, but that's only half the story.
Nobody else matters.
That's only half the story.
Can't no man raise me better than you can, even though it doesn't even matter, so save it.
Did this woman just call her daughter a devil? Since the case began, Madrigal hasn't shown any love or remorse toward Myers. She's responsible for the hollow feeling Myers has always felt since childhood. Yet, this is how she speaks to her. her. That horrible statement Madrigal made held too much weight. The judge had to call her to order before she did more damage.
That you just stood in this court and called your daughter a devil?
Basically, because all this is unnecessary. It's all unnecessary. It really is. All this is for her to find out what she wants to know. That's what matters. All the rest of this knocking me, making me out to be some kind of tramp and all that, it needs to stop.
Do you feel like all your life?
Yikes, the mother-daughter duo is a mess. It could have gotten worse if Judge Lake hadn't made that quick redirection. Anyway, Madrigal explains how she came up with the names of 13 different men as Myers' potential father.
So any calculation within that time, I could have been way off and not known. Because by the time I found out, I was 4 months pregnant with her. You see what I'm saying? So there could be a list of whomever.
Oh wow, Myers told the court that she disliked Keith because he would make inappropriate statements whenever he saw her. When her mother heard that, you would not believe what this woman said. Let's start with the inappropriate statement.
He's just inappropriate with me. When I'm at the airport, he's talking about how sexy I am.
But you are. You're beautiful. So, I mean, what's that? Maybe a compliment?
A compliment? Ooh, girl, you are so sexy.
He meant
what the
that
hell?
Look how pretty you are. I mean, say that. Don't do that.
I'll tell you what. We're going to meet Mr. McCraney, so please.
Okay, it has been confirmed that Madrigal and McCraney were once intimate. Meanwhile, the judge was not done with the questioning. Let's get back to that.
How did you find out that Ms. Madrigal was pregnant?
I did not know she was pregnant, Your Honor. I'm walking downtown Seattle where we live. I see her and the baby at the fountain. I said, oh, cute baby, who is she? She said, my daughter.
And you giggled?
Yes, yes.
Why?
I couldn't believe it, 3 minutes.
Damn, this woman is on a roll. Meanwhile, Myers is adamant that Keith McCraney isn't her father. The judge had enough of that and moved on to take McCraney's daughter's testimony. Let's see what she has to say.
Your daughter is here, and Ms. Vernon, you have held on like I've asked you to, but I want to understand from you why you feel so strongly about Ms. Myers.
Okay, well, as far as Monica's concerned, she's talking about, oh, he's this and he's that. Well, if that's the case, then how come you got his picture on Facebook with you and your mom talking about...
Things have gotten too messy in here. From then on, just arguments upon arguments resulted in nothing positive. Judge Lauren introduced the second man, who could be Myers' biological father, Derek.
Mr. Smith, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good,
Thank
Judge.
you for joining us. We're really glad that you could be here today, and we appreciate you submitting to the DNA testing because this court realizes that you are one of 2 men here today that we've identified that could potentially be Ms. Myers.
However, Madrigal begged to differ. She claimed that she never showed Derek any pictures. Instead, he was the one who asked if he was Myers' dad after seeing her eyes. These two couldn't agree on anything and argued heavily in court. At this point, Judge Lake was done with all the arguing and redirected their heads back to Myers' paternity issue. During the questioning, Derek claimed that Myers looked like him and might be his daughter.
Mr. Smith, you are not Monica's father.
I never thought I'd have to hear that. I still love you, though.
It's okay.
I promise that.
I'll be there for you, okay?
All right, let's move on to the second DNA test result. Do you think Keith is Myers' biological dad? For Keith's sake, I kind of hope he isn't. But let's see how it goes, shall we?
Mr. Keith McCraney, it has been determined by this court that you are the father.
There it is.
Did you faint, Mr. McCraney?
I don't believe that at all.
Whoa.
No, I don't believe that at all. They must have got their test mixed up
You
or
are
something
the
backstage.
father.